That's better. Cool. Okay, we are back with more Genshin. We have stuff to do. I have plans. Fun plans, I promise. I hope. Anyway, here. Yeah, and I have tea. Oh, wait, it's here. Hello, Catherine. You have a task for us. This needs to go away. You can't see it because it's behind my book, but...
Ad Astra Abyssosque. Recently, the Adventurers Guild has received an unusual commission, and after careful consideration, we believe that...
Oh no.
The Traveler would be the most suitable candidate, right?
What happened?
Indeed, as ever.
We're only the most suitable
I will
candidate.
spare the
Something
pleasantries
really
then.
bad is about to happen.
May I ask if you two are available to help?
Of course, that's what we're here for. It'll depend on the task and the compensation. Of course, that's what we're here for.
Well, let me go over it briefly. Our client for this job is the Yashiro
God.
Commission. Apparently, Rift Towns are attacking the roots of the sacred Sakura nearby Mount Yogo in great numbers.
Rift Hounds? On Narukami Island?
Tisk.
Yes. We are not sure where exactly these creatures come from. But this time, they are attacking in alarming numbers with great aggression and a clear target. The sacred Sakura is of tremendous importance to Inazuma. I trust you are aware of this already?
Well, it's called sacred, so I assume that means it's super important. I believe I understand.
Then you can see that this case is very urgent indeed.
Yes.
Is the Tenryu Commission aware?
Yes,
How could they not be?
and they are already taking action of their own. However, given that the sacred Sakura's root system is vast and complex, and faced with the unpredictability and scale of the Rift Town's attacks, they are finding it difficult to defend against them.
That makes sense.
Their main priority is to protect the civilian population, so they are actively looking to cooperate with all other available forces to eliminate the monsters.
Anyone who's half-skilled with a sword who wants to get paid to kill monsters, can you please help us? I get this.
The Adventurers Guild is one of the key parties assisting the Tenryu Commission with their work. But so far, the combined efforts to combat the Rift Towns has failed to substantially ameliorate the situation.
Time to make some whelpsy up. Send those booties back in.
You have our deepest gratitude. Your confident response puts me far more at ease. I will mark on your map the areas where Rift Town appearances have been recently reported. I hope you won't encounter too much trouble overcoming them.
I've gotten a few Rift Towns before. I know what we're in for.
We'll be back before you can say Ad Astra Abyssosque.
No, it's adorable. It's closer. Yeah, this is closer. Something's bleeding purple. That's weird. Come on, give me shiny. Hey, Spin! You're here. I have tea. I haven't tried it yet. It's still too hot to drink. This is honey, lemon, and ginseng tea. So obviously I didn't buy tea flavors that I thought I would eat. Because, yeah. So this is... So I like ginseng, honey, and lemon individually as ingredients in tea. I have never had them all together, though, before. So this will be a little bit different. So, yeah, I have it. It's here. It smells pretty good, though. Shiny. Because Big Hero 6? Ah, treat it That's perfect. Don't take this the wrong way, Spiffy. You're fairly predictable.
Cut to the chase.
I'm not judging. You're good. That's not a bad thing. I'm just stating facts. To be fair, the Tenry Commission is basically useless. Like 99% of the time. Oh, I'm dying. And I've died. Okay. Wow, everybody's dying.
To oblivion!
There she is.
Shogun? Wait, no. Could also be A.
Pretty sure it's Shogun.
It's you two. It has been a long time. We have not seen each other since the resolution of the Tenryou Commission crisis.
It has not been that long. Granted, I've been jumping around trying to get stuff done because this is the last quest in a chain we need to get to the big plot quest.
Okay, sounds more like A. It is you, right?
Yes.
You sure made short work of them. That was amazing.
What are you doing here? What brings you out this time?
I'm making early preparations for what is to come. Last time we took a walk around Inazuma together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past.
Yay, character growth.
Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world.
Hey,
Makes
you know,
sense. You must get super bored being stuck in there all the time.
Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself?
Yeah,
Recently, I have observed a number of changes in the external world from the plane of Euthymia. The most serious of these being the attack on the sacred Sakura by numerous rift hounds.
Well, you can't be 100% work all the time, otherwise you get burned out, and then doing stuff gets very hard. Trust me, I know. The amount of work I've completed for Book 2. This is still so heavy. The amount of work I still have to do for Book 2. But it's fine. I'm on schedule, that's all that matters.
I considered this matter worthy of my attention, so I pursued them, and they led me here, where I happened to run into you.
Cool. Hey, at least you know it's working. The commissions and adventurers can deal with monsters. It doesn't seem like a matter of needing the Archon's attention.
If the Shogun, rather than I, were to discover them, yes, perhaps she would have left the situation alone.
Why? Because she's just a puppet?
Precisely. According to the rules I designed for her, matters of this nature are to be delegated to the Tri-Commission.
For the record, Spin, the tea kind of tastes like the sauce that comes with the like. If you've ever had honey lemon chicken from a Chinese restaurant, the tea kind of tastes like the sauce for it. If that makes sense.
But rift hounds attacking
It's
the
good,
sacred Sakura. It brings back bad memories of that terrible disaster.
A disaster?
Yes. 500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma.
That's about the time we fell asleep after losing our brother. And also when the whole Conria stuff happened. What was going on 500 years ago? We'll never know. I'm sure. We'll never truly know. We'll just have to deal with it. Which part of what makes this game not anime to me? Because if this was more anime in its storytelling, we would be getting a very, very detailed flashback right about now that I don't think we're going to get. I think she's just going to be like, yeah, here's some stuff that happened. Maybe we'll get some pictures. We'll see. X'd it out, though.
Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost, and this homeland that the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely. The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil.
We're coasted.
And the Rift Hounds were always their advance guard.
You came here to see me try tea that you picked out. I tried the tea. 9 out of 10.
Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even more powerful beasts.
Oh good, the Traveler is not stupid. 500 years ago. Conria.
So you've heard of it too?
I was kind of there. Oh boy. It seems like these that make me really, really nervous for if the main Archon plot and the Traveler's actual plot ever collide. Like, your brother is doing what? He's who? What do you mean he's been leading the abyss that we've all been fighting against this entire time? What? Oh, that's not gonna end well.
That's an episode of history that I am loath to recall. Maybe to you, it seems like my response to these creatures was an excessive one.
You saved our butts, so who cares?
But an excess of caution is not unwarranted in this case.
Guess you can't argue with that.
Since we are both here for the same reason, let us work together. From the
Cool.
traces they've left in the surrounding area, there should be many more monsters nearby. All of them must be eliminated.
Let's go. Friendship for the win.
Paimon feels so safe when we're in Ace company. Having someone uber powerful on your team kind of makes you feel invincible, doesn't it?
Excuse you? I defeated her. Okay, I defeated her. I defeated I. So I don't want to hear it. Paimon.
Oh yeah, after we've dealt with the monsters, we should ask her to tell us more about Conria.
We absolutely should. That's a great idea, Paimon.
This
If
color!
there's anyone who would be willing to
Similar
talk
to
to
the
us.
color when the sacred Sakura takes damage. Let's follow it. It should be this way.
I want mint, so we're grabbing that too. I may need this later. Okay, so I'm looking for this purple light. I mean, it technically is blood, although probably tree sap would be closer to accurate. If I'm correct in my understanding of what this stuff is. Kind of makes me wonder what it, like, is, ooh, beetle. Let's grab him. Come here, friend. Hey, beetle friend. Give me. Probably shouldn't let myself get too distracted right now. I would like to get through this quest and then hopefully we can get to the main story quest. Even if we can't complete it tonight, I'd like to at least get there. Oh, there's a tree sap.
We are lucky. The damage is not too serious. The Yashiro Commission will be able to nurse the root system back to health.
Yay!
This stuff that's flowing out, is it sap or something? And how come it's glowing?
Thank you, Paimon.
Huh?
Oh, that's
What's
creepy. Oh, that's creepy. Why does the tree bleed ghosts? That's creepy. Is someone injured? How terrible.
Could they be dead people? It wouldn't be the first time we'd seen ghosts on our journey. But why would they appear here?
Let's search the area. Perhaps we will find out.
Okay.
I can't go on like this.
Fate, huh?
Not when the other troops are counting on me.
What happened here? Could you tell us?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
We're friends. You mean no harm.
Run quick while you still can. The monsters will be back. And once you're in their sights, I'm telling you there's no escaping them.
We will stop them.
We will defend Inazuma until our dying breath.
What exactly happened? What monsters?
You don't know? Inazuma is engulfed in darkness. Beasts and horrifying monsters are everywhere. They are merciless, ferocious, and they will devour everything in their path.
Is it the Heartless?
Every last trace of humanity's existence, I tell you. They'll devour it all.
Oh dear.
But look, none of that seems to be going on around here.
Not right now, but they'll be back. Look, get out of here. Now! There's no time left. The Almighty Shogun is gone. So is Kitsune Saigu. There is no one left to rely on but ourselves.
That's someone else. That's somebody else. That's not the Fox Lady that we know. I don't think. Because she has a different name and different titles.
I don't know how long we can hold out for. But if we abandon our hope, then we've got nothing left at all.
Don't worry, I'm right here.
It's the Shogun?
It's a Shogun.
You're back.
May not be the one you know.
Please, we beg you. You have to help us. You have to save Inazuma.
Of course we will.
Only the glow of your supreme lightning can dispel this terrible darkness. Please, or the whole of Inazuma will be reduced to a hunting ground for the beasts.
Calm down. The war you speak of is over.
Over? But what do you mean? Shogun?
Look around you. The grass grows green and lush, and a soft breeze blows. This is Inazuma at peace, as you will no doubt remember. There are no monsters, nor is there anything else here that could threaten your life.
What? But how? Just moments ago, they were everywhere. I saw them tear my comrade to shreds with my own eyes.
Hey, calm down. Everything's fine now.
Is it though? Is it though?
I think I understand. Almighty Shogun, you saved Inazuma.
It's probably as close to understanding as we're gonna get from this person.
Yes, we were right to place our trust in the Almighty Shogun. As long as the Shogun is with us, Inazuma will last for an eternity. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, thank you.
What's wrong with him?
He's at peace. He's going back to sleep now. Is he disappearing?
He's gone.
Paimon can't even begin to understand what that was all about. But somehow, Paimon feels all sad and hopeless.
I'm pretty sure that was some kind of record of his last moments. Except we got to say hi to him and make them a little bit happier than how the actual version happened, I'm sure.
If I am not mistaken, what we just saw was a samurai's memory that was buried in the land. The sacred sakura can absorb and purify the filth in the ley lines. After the Rift Hounds attacked, some of this filth leaked out through the cracks in the trunk and formed a physical entity. An entity formed with strong filth would be highly aggressive. But when purified, it presents in the form of a memory. Purified filth quickly dissipates and will be absorbed by the ley lines shortly afterwards. In other words, it cannot exist for too long.
I see. The same thing happened to Dusty Ming.
So the memories of the ones that died are all appearing at this moment?
That's
Yes. That soldier was one of the many thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice. What he was describing just now was precisely the disaster that happened in Inazuma 500 years ago.
Imagine that the Shogun was absent. Imagine that Kitsune Saigu was absent.
Yes. Inazuma was facing many great crises at that time. Some were local in origin, while others came from the now fallen kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late, otherwise it would spread to all of Tevat. But my friend, Kitsune Saigu, reassured me that I had nothing to worry about. She would shoulder the responsibility of protecting Inazuma and mobilize all forces at her disposal to combat the threat.
And you never saw her again, huh?
I could tell that, although neither of us acknowledged it, we both knew that the road ahead would likely end in tragedy.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
That's suspicious.
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout all of Inazuma.
There it is.
In the end, Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people. I never had the chance to see her one last time. But I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last.
Get tissues ready, because I'm pretty sure we're about to.
But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my heart.
Hey,
Is this the loss that Yae Miko had mentioned?
Yes. For the longest time, I couldn't bring myself to face the pain of that loss. All my martial might was in vain. Though I could conquer Tatarigami and vanquish monsters, I was helpless against the ravages of time, powerless to keep the ones I cherished alive.
Hugs. Hugs for the Shogun.
After my clash with human ambition, I thought long and hard. Now I realize I cannot fixate on the past forever.
So you're no longer stuck in the past.
When I traveled around Inazuma with you, I caught a glimpse of how the nation has progressed over the centuries. A glimpse of human potential. Everything far exceeded my expectations. Moving forward inevitably invites further loss, but also new encounters. Just think of that soldier. Despite all the losses he had experienced, he still chose to keep fighting for the sake of moving forward. All those who sacrificed themselves back then gave their lives fighting for a future. But perhaps the future they were hoping for is not the eternity that I once strove for.
Absolutely. That's what being human is about. Yay! She gets it. She gets it. I'm so happy. Absolutely.
As Inazuma's god, it is high time I honored their wishes. Warriors of the past, who spilled your blood on this land, your noble souls now rest in this earth. I will never forget you, and all that you did for Inazuma.
he's taking all this pretty hard.
She's their god. They're her people. They died fighting for her, basically. Yeah, she probably has pretty strong feelings about it.
Come on. Let's keep investigating the damage to the sacred Sakura.
But she'll at least probably get the chance to say goodbye to that friend of hers.
Speed of light.
In some capacity. I hope. I mean, I'll cry, but I hope. I can hope for something and dread it at the same time. Here we go.
As expected, there are a load of rift hounds here too.
Leave them to me.
No, leave means nothing.
There is no escape.
Huh? Something seems wrong with A.
Are you feeling okay?
Why would you ask that?
Because you don't look like you are.
Well, usually you'd pull out your sword and swish! Vaporize them all in one go. No?
You are unduly concerned. I'm simply conserving my energy.
Oh no. Doubt. I doubt. Towers is doubting this.
Although I have some understanding of the situation already, it could take an unexpected turn at any time. I must be prepared
Is
for
that your
anything.
excuse?
If there are more formidable monsters lying in wait in this area, I must make sure I have the strength to face them.
Ah, makes sense. Spoken like a seasoned shogun.
Is that what she is, though?
The roots seem pretty badly damaged this time. We definitely need to tell the Yashiro Commission about this. Hey, the same light is leaking out again.
What else? Is this the same situation as before?
Furuyama? Is that you?
Almighty Shogun, what brings you back so soon? I thought you were off fighting a battle in a distant land.
Fighting a battle in a distant land? Sounds like this guy's talking about 500 years ago, too.
Allow me to introduce Furuyama. He is a tea master and a member of my retinue. Though blind, Furuyama is unparalleled in his ability to appraise tea. He brews some of the very finest tea in all of Inazuma.
Don't need eyes to brew tea. You really don't. I mean, as long as you can smell it, you're probably good.
Your Excellency, you shower me with praise undeserved. I have simply had the good fortune to be in your Excellency's presence long enough to become acquainted with all the skills that are required of me. It sounds like the Almighty Shogun has brought a guest. I'm afraid I'm unable to serve you any respectable refreshments on account of the current situation. But please, sit and rest. After all, it's quite a mess out there.
What should we do?
Let's go along with what he says. I want to learn more about the past. I'm gonna go with this first option because I don't think the tea master is gonna know a whole lot about what's going on. Like, of all the people in like a shogun's day-to-day life who might know something about what's going on, I don't think it's the tea master. I mean, he might know something, but I doubt that it's something that we're gonna care about. Let's go along with what he says.
Yeah. Sheesh. There's monsters
I see. So, they have fought their way this far already. Most of the residents in this neighborhood have already escaped. They wanted to take me with them, but it seemed rather pointless to me. So, I decided to stay.
And that decision cost him his life, I presume.
And now the Almighty Shogun is here, I have even less reason to run away. Imagine if this was something that even the almighty Shogun was powerless to resolve. Where could I possibly run to then?
You guys have a point. If the lightning god can't handle this, regular human man probably doesn't have a whole lot of options. How come you're not panicking?
People flee out of a desire to live on. And the desire to live on stems from a feeling of having unfinished business in life. But me, I have no such thoughts, and I have no regrets. The almighty Shogun often speaks to me about her dreams over tea.
Ooh.
Just listening to her stories. I've been blind for many years, but her vivid descriptions took me on a splendid journey to all the most beautiful places in Inazuma. Over time, I've come to understand her mindset. Quite the romantic at heart. A true dreamer.
I'm not going to comment on that.
One thing she always says is, good things don't last forever. Everything changes, fades, disappears completely over the passage of time. And so, people must make the most of the life they have, seize the chance to enjoy it while it lasts, and have no regrets in the end.
I wonder if she forgot about that particular sentiment over time. Because it seems to be the opposite of what she stood for when we first met her. But I mean, 500 years probably does change a person a little bit. No matter how resistant to change she may or may not be. It doesn't sound like me at all. That doesn't fit the definition of eternity at all.
So you see, as bleak as things may be now, I have experienced countless wonderful things in life, and have no reason not to be satisfied.
Perhaps you are right.
It won't
he's
be
comfortable
long
with
now
this.
before I have to say goodbye to the almighty Shogun for the last time. What a pity. I'll never get to see what Inazuma looks like after the almighty Shogun rebuilds it anew.
It's wonderful.
But I suppose it doesn't matter. Everyone says that Inazuma has turned dark now. But to me, it went dark a long time ago.
Aww.
Once this catastrophe is over, life is sure to spring forth anew. But even if I survived until then, I'd probably be a hopelessly befuddled old so-and-so by then. So, never mind, eh?
Aww.
Oh, goodness me. Speaking of befuddled, look at me rambling away to my heart's content and forgetting to serve the tea. The almighty Shogun comes to visit and I don't have the tea ready. A truly egregious loss of decorum.
I don't think she minds, buddy. I don't think she minds at all.
One moment, I'll just... Where in the world is the tea set? I hope the others didn't smash it to smithereens in their hasty departure.
Aww.
Can't see a tea set anywhere around here.
You have a teapot?
Really? But it's always been right by my side. Goodness gracious, what a fool I'm making of myself.
You know where to find a tea set.
I couldn't possibly have my guests fetch it themselves. That would be most discourteous indeed.
We insist.
Don't worry about it. Take a rest. We'll be back right away.
Yes.
Almighty Shogun, you're not going too, are you? No, no, no. Your humble servant implores you, not with the war raging outside.
This place is complicated. It's quite unlike the tea house in your memories. Leave it to us.
But... well, okay. I never thought I'd see the day that I need the almighty Shogun to personally collect my tea set for me.
Hey, heart.
I can't decide whether it's a final regret or a final stroke of good fortune.
Where should we go to find a tea set? Having a cup of tea isn't exactly the most urgent thing to do right now, but at the same time, this lovely old man from 500 years ago has been through so much, And it makes Paimon so sad.
We're bringing tea to the dead guy.
I'm also feeling very nostalgic for his tea.
Oh, why don't we go to the Kamisato estate? There'll definitely be a tea set we can borrow there.
Behold, Shogun Vagar, get out of any favor we ever need ever card. I mean, Kamisatos would do anything for us anyway, but still. I don't care right now. We have other things to attend to. Hey, Speed! Welcome back. We're getting an old dead guy tea. Because... Just...
It's the Traveler. And the almighty Shogun. How might I be of assistance, Your Excellency?
I wish to borrow a tea set from the Yashiro Commission.
Yeah, they're just like, how many do you want?
Oh, sure. I'll fetch that for you right away. Please step into the courtyard and have a rest, almighty Shogun. Oh, and I'll inform my lord about your visit immediately. Ah, and the tea set. I'll bring that here as soon as it's ready.
This poor man, he's probably just doing his best, and I think it's funny.
Be at ease. I'm not here to see Commissioner Kamisato. Actually, I'd prefer to spend this time chatting with the Traveler. Please, fetch the tea set at your convenience.
No. I am your humble servant. I daren't think of my own convenience when the almighty Shogun graces me with her presence. I'll deal with it right away.
So, we found this ghost of an old dead guy who used to make our Shogun friend here tea, because that was like his job. You know, like royal tea maker, more or less. And we want to help his ghost kind of go back to sleep. So we're bringing him a tea set because, you know, he doesn't have his anymore because he's been dead for 500 years. So we're just going to go to the nearest residence and borrow one real quick. So we show up, and then this poor guy, you know, his god shows up, and a close friend of his boss. And he's just like, ah. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm totally for this. I am on board with this plan.
Well,
cheers.
It's not often we have the chance to chat. I'm sure you must have a lot of questions.
Was it really you that the tea master used to serve?
Right. Paimon wanted to ask that too. The almighty Shogun that he described didn't sound anything like you at all.
I seldom had the time to drink tea. Any free time I had was spent practicing martial arts. So, in the vast majority of cases, the one he made tea for was the former Electro Archon, who was also my sister, Raiden Makoto. He may well have had an inkling about there being two Raiden Shoguns, but he always acted as if he was completely unaware of it.
That's why she made the puppet. That's why she made the puppet. Her sister died, didn't she? And because there's always been two Raiden Shoguns, she didn't want there to be one all of a sudden. So she's like, I'm gonna make a robot to replace my sister. Oh boy. Oh. I was wondering who that was we saw in that flashback of hers, back when we did her Archon quest. Because it looked a lot like her, so I was like, okay, did she take on like the old Archon's form? Because Eternity? No, it's her sister. Oh boy. Oh dear. That explains a lot, actually. that explains a lot. So, Makoto was like the real Shogun, probably, where she was like the physical protector. Your question confuses me, Spin. Please clarify.
The philosophy of life that he shared with us just now, that was Makoto's view on reality. She always saw things that way.
You and Makoto had pretty different views, huh?
Indeed we did. It was the biggest difference between us.
Oh. That. Would you be mad at me if I told you I never watched a single episode of that show? That everything I know about it comes from memes and internet discourse? Which is not much. In my defense, I'm not a sci-fi person, so I thought it wasn't something that interested me. So it was just like, here's a big uber hyped up sci-fi show, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care for animated adult comedies made here in the West, and I don't care for sci-fi. I'm pretty sure I'm not the target audience for this, and I just went about my day. I'll trust your opinion on that, Spin. As far as, because nothing I've seen about it informs me that I was missing out on anything that I would have liked. That can happen.
In her eyes, the most precious things in this world were dreams. The yearning for a better future held by living beings.
Dreams. Or in other words, ambition. Or, to put it in more literal terms, visions, which are the little crystals that give people elemental energies that she was taking from people. Oh boy. That adds a lot of context to everything she was doing. So does she blame that for what happened to her sister? I mean, you know?
They are similar, but not identical. When you came charging into the plane of Euthymia, I saw human aspirations light up the sky far above in the form of countless stars. This somewhat shook me. Now, it seems like she was right, while I took the wayward path.
Grief makes us do funny things. Grief makes us do funny things. Especially if your sister was killed horribly by some terrible monster. Which I'm guessing is what happened. Like, she either died in the fight with Conry or she died to some horrible monster. That seems to be the most likely fate. I mean, that probably will tell us eventually, but we'll see.
Wow. There sure was a lot going on beneath the surface.
This explains a
Makoto
lot.
saw a bigger picture than I did. In her view, a dream is more imaginary, more abstract than an ambition. An ambition is a yearning for something material, or a concrete outcome. It is finite in nature, and will be replaced by a new ambition in due course. Makoto was more concerned with the force that drives humans to constantly generate new ambitions in the first place. It is something innate, rooted in instinct. In other words, it is something eternal.
That's,
There it goes.
quite a lot to take in.
To put it simply, Makoto wasn't concerned about outcomes. I didn't understand at the time. How can we say that we are maintaining eternity when things are constantly moving forward and evolving?
I'm bad at IDing voice actors. I'll admit, any comment about voice actors that I ever make is because I googled it. I never know for certain because I'm really bad at that kind of thing. So, I mean, yeah.
I suppose what it comes down to is the definition of eternity she set out with.
Seems more in line with how humans see the world. does make me wonder if these two were regular people at one point, and then became Archons later.
Yes, it does. I always thought that she must have grasped some elusive, arcane wisdom to arrive at the conclusions she did. But in the last analysis, Makoto's philosophy was, on the surface at least, an elegantly simple one. Notwithstanding that it was also the more prudent choice, based on a more mature, far-sighted outlook.
Arcade, yeah.
Do you feel you're starting to understand her better now?
You have already witnessed my previous views on eternity.
Yeah, and that didn't work out for anybody.
But now, I no longer cling to what was lost. I suppose that means our differences have been reconciled.
That's cute.
Almighty Shogun, I found a tea set. This one in particular should be fit for your Excellency's use.
Love that.
It's quite beautiful. Thank you.
You are too kind. A humble servant such as I does not deserve the gratitude of the Almighty Shogun.
Yeah.
It's all good, sir. She's actually pretty chill.
Yeah, she is. The other one isn't, and he's gonna see the other one far more. So, Also, Lumine's expression is cute.
Let us return. We ought not keep Furuyama waiting too long.
No. We shall put Ghostman to sleep. And let him rest. What's a quick way back there? Actually, that might actually be a good response. This. This. Nope, nope. Towers knows what she's doing. Out of my way, Samurai. I don't have time or caring for you. We have to go this way. Right here. Old man, we have returned. Where is he? Where'd he go? Man? Where's my need to be? Is he gone? Oh.
Where'd he go? He wouldn't have gone looking for a tea set himself, would he?
Didn't put it past him.
Or perhaps the ley lines did not have the power to sustain him for very long.
Aww.
As was the case with the memory we saw earlier.
So we won't get to drink his tea?
No, I'm gonna go with not really for me. Took me a minute to remember what banana pudding is. I've tried it before, but it was, nah, not for me.
We didn't even have a chance to say goodbye.
The information held in the ley lines is complex and disorderly. The fact that we were able to meet him to begin with was a miracle of fate.
I mean, if you're happy with it, that's all that matters. But, I mean, like I've said before, desserts that aren't chocolate-based aren't really to my taste 99% of the time. There's a handful of exceptions, but typically speaking, most desserts aren't really something I care much about. Paimon. We could make our own tea. I mean, we already have the set. I've noticed with you, Spin, Mr. Peanut Butter and Jelly on a hot dog bun wrapped in a tortilla. I mean, I'm amused by it, but also, like, I'm concerned for your well-being sometimes. But it's okay. Cheer up, Penguin. Let's make a
Well,
tea.
This chance won't come often, and we do have a tea set. Perhaps I should try my hand at making us a pot of tea.
Oh, God. I don't know if that's a good idea.
I've watched Furuyama brew tea on many occasions. I doubt I should have any major problems doing it myself.
Okay.
The tea is ready. Please give it a try.
I'm both excited and dread the day you finally make that abomination. All I ask is pictures. Lots of pictures. Like a step-by-step process of pictures. I want a PowerPoint presentation of this monstrosity.
So many thoughts were racing through my head as I was brewing it. I'm not sure how to explain it.
You don't need to. I understand.
You're right. But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've been reminded of many people, too. Kitsune Saigu, Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass even further back. Back at the Yashiro Commission, I kept the conversation reasonably lighthearted. But now, I'd like to broach a heavier topic, if I may.
Oh boy. Brace yourselves, everybody.
The events of 500 years ago not only robbed me of my friend, Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me for good.
There it is.
She died in that disaster too?
Yes. She went to Conria alone, without telling me. Unlike me,
no.
Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past, I was always the one to face them in her stead.
Well, this just got awkward. Because we might have been there. Actually, I'm like 99% certain we were there. I mean, I don't know if we met the sister, because Lumine's memories are all over the place. But it's a high enough probability that it makes me nervous.
But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Or perhaps it was more that she went ahead of me, put herself in front of me, so that I would remain hidden. In any case, by the time I realized what was happening...
I mean, obviously the sister is not the unknown god that we are trying to track down, who was the actual, like, main attacking force from what few glimpses of this event we've seen. But if the sister was there, and so were we there at the same time, and considering we're wearing literally the flower for the that represents that nation in our hair, that's just the stuff of yikes. That it makes me both excited and just a little bit nervous for what other memories Lumine doesn't have. Because all we've seen is a brief flashback to a set of buildings being destroyed by an attack from the unknown god. And I say that because we see her attack with a very distinct ability pattern thing. Like her moves look pretty distinctive, pretty unique. You could tell. So there's a very strong possibility that we either met the sister or maybe even our brother or our sibling, depending on your traveler, killed her sister. Like, that's a distinct possibility, and that's making me nervous. Look at it already.
Yes. It was too late. I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath.
You didn't see anybody blonde about my height, long braid? I hope. Otherwise, this is gonna get awkward. I mean, it may not be true, but also, like, enough pieces are there. It's just like, yikes.
She had already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point, so all I could do was enter into her mind. As far as you're concerned, it would be somewhere similar to the plane of Euthymia. It was there that we bid each other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions.
She was always looking to the future, and she probably saw you as the future. I would suspect.
Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me?
That sounds fun. Is that like a carrot cake kind of deal?
It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely and brought it back to Inazuma.
Hey, I mean, if you're enjoying it, that's all that really matters.
That's quite a story.
Is that what's in the Shogun? There's that sweet tooth. I wonder if your dentist ever hears about your diet and cries. I mean, I'm sure you brush, but like, still. That's a little bit different. I'm talking about, like, oh, I'm sure you do. I bet you have the worst cavities known to man. I'm sure it looks terrible. Like, Mr. Dash, are you aware that you have 37 cavities? What do you eat? And then you start listing desserts, and they're just like, oh. Dude. I bet.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know as the sacred sakura.
Her sister's the tree. Oh boy. Oh boy. Appeared? The sacred sakura has always been there, hasn't it?
That's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it. And yet, its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it.
The tree is the sister.
It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air. In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
Yeah, the sister is in there. Sister is in there. I wonder if Pink Fox Lady and the tree, like, gossip to each other about I here. That'd be funny. Like imagine, like, Head Shrine Lady is just sitting there with a cup of tea and, like, some, like, dessert. She's just like, you will not believe what I is doing now. I think it's just a pronunciation thing. don't know anything about anyone's background, so I can't make, like, broad strokes judgment, but it's... I mean, the voice actor was probably given a localized version of the script. I mean, I pronounce it Makoto, but, like, I've also heard, like, 7 different pronunciations with the same spelling, so it's... it's one of those things, it's just like, take your pick. Whatever makes you happiest. Because you have to remember, this game is not originally in English. The game is originally in Chinese. So the script went through a localization team and was given to a voice actress, and voice actress probably wasn't given, like, much pronunciation guidance. She's probably just winging it. I have no idea what you're talking about right now, Spin, so probably not. You could... I have no idea what you're talking about. Might have been Nikki. I don't remember having a debate about the pronunciation of her name when you streamed Cuphead. I don't. My brain is completely blanking on this conversation, Spin. So either I wasn't there, or that was the time where I was completely hyped up on cold medicine while you were streaming, and I have no memory of it. So, I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, go ahead. You might actually have someone who remembers that better than...
This is all really hard to understand. Kind of beyond Paimon's level.
Simply put, Makoto's power made that tree appear.
Yes. She had such a great love for this land, and for its people. In this respect, I still do not compare to her.
So, Sister became a tree, and probably part of that tree was to attempt to protect as many people as it could by soaking up their souls, I guess, into it. Just kind of come into my warm embrace and be safe, at least in death. Or at least be at peace. Like, they're all having, like, a massive afterlife tea party in the tree. Maybe. That's what I'm choosing to believe, even if it's not true.
I once told myself that I would never speak of these events again. Facing the fact that she is gone is unbearably painful. But even the tea that is most bitter to the tongue, once swallowed, leaves some sweetness in the throat. And it's time I came to terms with it all.
Seems like you've done a lot of thinking about this already. I know the pain of separation, too.
Oh, while we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Paimon, no! Paimon, no! No. No, 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 no. What are you doing? No. No. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Have you seen my brother before?
Brother? I had heard that you were looking for your family.
Oh, God. Yeah, about my height. Dude. Long braid. Wears black.
You mean to say that he was somehow involved in the Kangria disaster?
You were kind of there.
Based on what we've learned so far, it seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I arrived, the worst of the fighting was already over. And also, my mind was consumed entirely with the plight of Inazuma and the fate of those closest to me.
My question is, why is she not asking, like, how old are you and your sibling? Like, Because it's a twin brother, right? So she's just like, wait, he was there 500 years ago? How old are you? Because I know I would be asking that question. Because as far as everyone else thinks, we're just a regular mortal. But she also knows about the whole having the ability to control the elements without a vision thing, which is highly unusual. You know, literally nobody else can do what we can do as far as that's concerned. I mean, even technically the gods can't do what we do as far as elemental control is concerned, which should be mildly terrifying. And I feel like people should comment on that more. We're special. We're like the sentient fallen star or something, as far as I can tell. And then she's a thunder god, so yeah, Traveler is special little snowflake. Which is why I like playing as her, because I like being able to switch between the elements as I please. I mean, I'm currently playing as Geo because I'm not good at dodging things, and Geo has shields. Yeah! You laugh, but that's more or less how she works.
So, I am afraid I can't help you.
Of course, it's not that easy.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
I
But
mean,
it can't be helped, I guess.
she, unironically, she is kind of an equivalent to Thor. Which is a little bit terrifying if you think about it too long. But it's fine. Everything is fine. She doesn't have a hammer. She has a giant, like, well, okay, technically her weapon is great sword as far as like game mechanics is concerned, but the one we see her use, there's a specific term for it. I don't know what it is. But basically it's a long stick with a very sharp pointy end at the front that you slash in a very specific pattern. It's not a polearm, I know that. That's a different thing. We don't see it much because of how she fights. But no, she doesn't have a hammer. She just has a very big stick with a very sharp pointy end. Not a spear. Not like a spear, no. Well, a spear is a poking weapon. She has a slashing weapon. If that makes sense. You're a fantasy writer, Towers. How do you not know all the different weapons? I focus on very specific ones. Slashy, not pokey. It's a little bit different. I mean, from far enough away, you could confuse the two, probably, but their implementation is different.
Boy, both of you have experienced great tragedy.
But most combat I write usually involves magical powers. I don't usually get weapons involved in the fighting. It is cool. It's a very cool thing. I mean, she also has a giant katana that she pulls out of her body. Whoosh. And then we all die. Yeah, a very big katana. That's like taller than she is. It's huge. And we all die.
With this last cup of tea, let us honor the Tea Master's memory.
I mean, more or less, it's a little bit Mortal Kombat-y when she uses it.
Thank you, Destiny, for giving us the chance to meet again.
Why is the camera focusing on more tree
There
blood?
you go. Let's keep following the traces.
Observe teacup. Aww. That's cute.
Very well. Based on my investigation so far, I believe this next pack of monsters should be the last.
Cool. Where are they? Yeah. Follow. And then we go here. Yes, camera, I can see it. I also need to walk so I don't fall to my death. Because that is a drop that will kill you. Ooh, but there's shiny. Probably. I might have grabbed the shiny, actually. Shh. I'm gonna look anyway. Nope. Okay, cool. Towers is gonna check. Towers wants all the shinies all the time. I can't help it. Yeah. Mine no. pursuit. We shall continue pursuit. I don't like how close to the beach we are. Fighting near the beach on this island is never a good time. And there's our enemies. Yes. Yes, camera, I can see it. Let me focus on this, please, instead. Bad puppies.
Once again, please leave them to me.
If you insist.
Hey! Are you sure you're alright? You're scaring us!
I think she has some stuff she needs to work out and is choosing to do so with very big weapons.
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
If you're sure. You insist. Yeah. If we could pause 5 seconds, you can kind of see me use it. Oh, cool. You're stunning it. Yeah, you see this?
I'm fine.
I don't think you're fine.
Shine down.
Yeah, I'm sure other games have had weapons like it. I don't remember the official name for it. I'm sure it has one, I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Maybe you should leave this one to us.
You don't look too good. Don't force it. Something's wrong.
My apologies.
You don't have to apologize.
Don't worry about it. Just take a breather and get your strength back.
This is what friends are for.
We'll deal with the monsters.
Yeah. Plus everybody's ultimate is up, so we're good.
Look, that's the same light again.
Time for another trip down memory lane. Who have we got this time?
Where am I?
Cheeky. Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Almighty Shogun, you're here too. Are you injured, Your Excellency?
I'm quite all right. Just feeling a little stiff.
Well, this is what happens when you meditate for 300 years. You get a teensy bit rusty. I mean, she may have trained while she was in there, but training by yourself in an empty plane is a little bit different than fighting monsters.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end.
Aw, that's so sweet. I
Come
mean,
on, man. They're coming back for more. Let's get them.
Don't! It's too dangerous.
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
Yes, the glowing people are ghosts. They are ghosts that came out of the magic tree that's holding her sister. That's made from her sister's consciousness. So I'm like pretty sure that the sister may have sent them out to protect us. Maybe. Or at least to help. I think. Because this is a tree that sprouted when she removed her sister's consciousness from her dying body. So I'm pretty sure the sister is in there. How conscious the sister is of what's happening around her in the tree, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain that's what's happening. I mean, they could be wrong, but, like, interesting that right as she gets weakened, a bunch of soldiers pop up. I mean, you know, kinda. If you think about what a nobody actually is, which is the remnants of a person's will and desire, and those kinds of things, like, the thing you wanted most in life is still kind of the thing your nobody's gonna want. Like, in a different world, Roxas might have popped up, you know, in the middle of Halabastion Castle and tried to protect Kairi. I mean, I could see that being a thing that could have happened. And if you look at all of the nobodies as they died at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, or, okay, died is not the right word, but were defeated, we'll call it, you can kind of tell that fragments of the person they used to be are absolutely still in there, and absolutely still acting on at least some level of the same want. Like the same thing that drove them as when they were whole people is still the same thing that drives them as a nobody, I think. From what I've been able to tell. This is not the time or place for the whole Kingdom Hearts discussion, but as far as my personal understanding of the lore goes, that seems to be more or less what it is. Well, here's the thing, and I will stand by what I'm about to say to my dying breath. Kingdom Hearts is not about the plot. The point of the Kingdom Hearts series has never been about the plot. It has been 100% been about the characters, their relationships, and their interactions. And anyone who tries to tell you otherwise can fight me.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Is that a vision?
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for us. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the moment for us to honor that.
I mean, yeah. Go for it. If this is how you want to die, I guess. It's your choice.
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
So full of hope, and unwavering commitment to resistance.
Nobody knew where your excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts. This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
I'm excited to meet the next Archon. I have purposefully avoided any and all like trailers or clips or theories because I want to go into the next update as blind as possible because I'm gonna play it anyway. Because that is a choice I have made. So I know next to nothing about the next Archon except what their element is. So I'm excited for that.
Everyone, on me!
We'll help too!
Yeah.
Huh? Affirmative, but watch your backs.
Oh, you think I need your help?
Protect the Almighty Shogun!
Shame!
The shield. Where are you? Where you at? Where'd you at? Come here, puppy. Puppy down. At the shield.
Starball! Get him!
Oh, I hate
Let the
these.
show begin. Ready, steady,
Everybody's
go!
like, oh.
Drop!
Face off.
Starball!
Where are you? Come here.
It seems like their attacks are finally over.
You did it. Yay.
I've never fought so fiercely before.
Thank you all.
Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting.
I'm fine. I feel much better already.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time.
And we'll just have to meet
Quickly,
them on.
escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
Sir, yes, sir.
When everyone sees the Almighty Shogun safely returning, their spirits will be lifted.
Well, what are you guys gonna do?
stay here and hold the line till the last man.
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
Aw, that's cute. Yeah. They have no business disrupting the reality they are experiencing. Great, thanks. I appreciate it.
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best.
That's nearly exactly word for word what she said. That's interesting.
But the almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the almighty Shogun.
Is that another reason she built the puppet? Because she was terrified that she would appear less than almighty before her people who clearly desperately need her to be almighty. Otherwise, everything's gonna fall apart. Well, I mean, probably not literally, but still. I mean, Inazuma is definitely not Mondstadt that could run pretty much Archon free. I mean, Venti still does a few things, but for the most part, it's more or less self-sufficient. Well, I think all of this reminiscing is affecting her a little bit. Like how when you're depressed you can't really operate at full capacity? Same concept. And she's literally facing, you know, fragments of probably the worst period of her life standing right in front of her. So, I mean, if there's anything that's valuable to mess with your head, I mean, this would be like you walking up trying to go about your day, but suddenly an image of, I mean, of one of your tormentors from middle school just popping up out of nowhere and probably mess up your ability to do anything too.
Thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live.
I mean, they're literally placing all of their hopes and dreams on her shoulders. And it's not just a few people, it's an entire nation that more or less has this viewpoint. So, and she's already made one bad decision. What's stopping her from making another? Probably not helping.
With you leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun. Glory to the Shogun!
I have to step away for a moment. I will be right back.
They're gone.
I am back. Is that a promise to them? Or a promise to yourself?
It was both.
That's fair.
The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The grief blinded me to how brightly they shone in their final moments. The result being that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will. You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines.
No. They matter to you, too. I mean, they don't matter to them, but because it's too late for them to hear it, but doesn't mean it's too late for you to have those thoughts and change.
But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them, and to all the people who have placed their faith in me to date.
Yes.
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now, and that's what counts.
Exactly.
Thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon, and I have neglected it for far too long.
Still doing
I
a better
used to
job.
think just like that samurai, that I was first and foremost a warrior, and my only duty was to face whatever challenge came my way.
I mean, as much as I complain about her being hands-off, you should see the other two Archons we've met. uh, all the Archons so far have been kind of a disaster. Maybe we'll see a properly functioning one in the next place. Probably not, though. It's never that easy. So excited for that.
But what Inazuma needs more than a warrior is someone like Makoto.
Yes.
Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done.
Yeah, and you also need to do them in your way, not hers. Because if you're just hanging around just trying to emulate someone who is not here, what makes you any different from the Shogun puppet that you made at that point? You still need to lead them as their leader. You can take points from this other person, but at the end of the day, you're the Archon now. And you're the one who has to do Archon things, whatever those are here.
Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient, and have much to be proud of.
Humans are cool.
As the Raiden Shogun they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
Well said. Sounds to Paimon like you figured things out.
Yay.
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition. This is my promise.
Yeah.
Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. It does not appear that the threat will escalate for the time being. I will leave the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions to handle the follow-up work, such as investigating the origins of this incident and tending to the root system.
That is what they're for. I mean, what's the point of having commissions and commissioners and people who work underneath them they're not going to do the general grunt work? I mean, you may be a god and an archon, but still you are only one individual. There's only so much you can do at one time. So yeah, it's perfect use for them.
Alrighty then, let's move on.
Yeah.
It looks calm on the outside, but Paimon bets her emotions must be all over the place right now, huh?
You could say she has a bit of a thunderstorm inside her heart. Oh, that's terrible. I'm a terrible person. I'm so sorry.
She seems to have changed a lot since we last met her.
Good.
Huh?
She was kind of stuck in a stalemate last time we saw her. Oh no. Hi!
What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body. I can't move it.
Oh no. Oh no.
It looks like the situation is more serious than I thought.
Do you need to take a rest? We should get you back to the city. We should get her back to the palace. Or, I think it's a palace. Pretty sure it's a palace. We should get you back to the city.
No need. She is calling me. The time has come.
What's she? Who's she? Is it the sister?
Can you help me walk?
Of course.
I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Okay.
Why? What's in there?
The sister, probably.
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past and take the first steps into the future.
Oh no. I'm very concerned now. I'm very worried. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go over here to the statue and we are going to heal real quick. Because I have the terrible feeling that we're about to have a very nasty boss fight. And if that's true, I want everybody to be full health. Where's the statue? Where's the statue? Here's the statue. Heal me! And here's this. And it's not enough to give me rewards, but you can have it anyway. I'm overcome with an enormous sense of dread right now. Oh no. We can do this. I'm like 80% sure this is a boss fight. So, but I have faith in us. And this is directly below us. So let's go this way. Let's do this. So we are looking for a cave. Where is this? Is it this? Oh, nope, it's over here. We almost had it. Just carefully. Oop. Oh, yeah. This screams bad things are about to happen in here. Where was the passcode to the cave? Yeah, we are here. Here we are. How do I go in here? How do I go in here? Let me in. Why can't I go in? Ben, are you still there? Can you Google for me? How to get into the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine. Is there a puzzle nearby? See these, but I don't think that's gonna help. Do I need to find one of the... Actually, wait, hang on. Where's the... There's a thing, wasn't there? Hang on. We're gonna try something real quick. Go back here. Oh no. We may have hit a teensy bitty roadblock. I hope I'm wrong though. Okay, so it was down here. I need to go here. Please be it. Please be it. Please be it. Please be it. Please, please, this. I can handle this. Okay. Awesome. I was really worried there for a sec. Okay. We're good.
We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
Oh boy. Where is it? Oh no. Oh god. Yeah.
Whoa! Where'd that Tory gate come from?
Are you alright? No, she's not alright. We're about to have a very bad time, I think. Oh boy. Yeah, we're not getting to that story class this time. Alright.
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm about to put an end to it all.
Or if something's gonna put an end to you. Okay.
This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness.
Oh god.
It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body as I please.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. 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 That's morbid. Oh. That's morbid. Are you running around in your sister's body? Because that's, wow. Oh wow. That's not a twist I was expecting. Oh dear.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
Oh god. Let's go say hi.
Follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Top 10 things Towers was not expecting. Oh no. Oh boy. We have a good team though. I have confidence in us.
I'm dizzy. Where did we get sucked into this time?
Somewhere terrible.
Whoa. This place.
It does look a lot like the plane of Euthymia.
Look! Look over there! It's another A!
Yeah.
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules.
Okay.
Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait! Paimon knows that voice! Is that the puppet?
I'll be honest with you, Spin, I'm barely following this myself, and I'm playing it, and I have all the context. So what I think is happening is that the robot shogun that she made is the presence that's currently drawn its weapon on us. And because the person we've been, hanging out with and having tea with is decided to change her mind and change her path, the robot is like, this goes against my parameters and everything I'm programmed for, therefore I must stop you. I think that's what's happening. I could be wrong, but I'm barely following this. So don't feel bad.
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity.
Okay, so she's been wandering around. She basically conscious swapped with the robot, as far as I can tell. Like, she's in the robot's body. Like, she's in the robot itself. And she's put herself in the pilot's seat. And then probably just, like, put the robot in like a backup plane until she's done. Well, at least the AI part of the robot in the backup plane. So this is the equivalent to an AI that's standing in front of us with its weapon, I think. Is that thunderstorm outside or in the game? I can't tell. Because there was a thunderstorm earlier. Welcome to monsoon season. Yeah. I think if I'm following this correctly. So, yeah. As for where we are right now, we're inside the sister's consciousness, fighting an AI. This took a weird left turn. Let's do this.
You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you?
We're just gonna let this play out.
But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait! The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse! Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body.
Cool. I'm glad we clarified.
As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes.
Right. Yeah. Because you programmed the robot to be change is bad. So when you started to change, the robot went, you are bad. I think. If I'm following this correctly.
But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way.
This one, the one currently on screen right now, is the original one. Is the real one. This one who we've been hanging out with and having tea with is the real one. At least her real consciousness. She's just borrowing the puppet's, what I've been calling the robot's body, so she can walk around, because she sealed her consciousness in a different plane after dealing with all of the grief and stuff of losing a bunch of people that she cared about in this whole 500 years ago war situation. So the robot and the person were kind of still in the body at the same time. So when the person started to change, as people are programmed are going to do, the bot said change bad because you programmed me to be change is bad. Therefore you are bad. Therefore I will fight you now. And she's just like, fine, we will settle this with our blades as proper warriors shall. And we're just like, okay. If I've understood this correctly. Yeah, it's a lot of extra nonsense, but we're doing this. Welcome to this game.
Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
I think you've mentioned this before. Is this her safeguard, her system to safeguard against modifications to eternity?
Hyman gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this. It's a bit extreme.
A little bit. But this is what we're doing.
Hey, showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day.
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. It shall not be easily swayed.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Cool.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something?
I think that stopped becoming an option the moment the bot drew her blade. And, I mean, she would know how to, you know, she programmed it, so she would know how to deal with a situation like this. So she's just like, nope, we must deal with this with a dramatic, lightning-charged sword fight. Let's do this. A isn't someone who leaves herself an escape route.
But they both just want the best for Inazuma.
Yeah, but...
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun.
Oh good, they're making her sound a bit more robotic. That's good, that'll be easier to tell who's who.
It inherits A's pain. The pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity.
Cool.
Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred. All of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A. In the end,
Did you get that
even
spin?
the proud and mighty Onin Maiden was cut down and disgraced. Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did. Shine down! Weak. Weak. Pathetic. Gone! Illusion shattered! Gone! Inazuma shines eternal! The eye sweeps the
She
land!
dodged my ultimate. That's away.
The Kitsune Sakura blossom that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch-black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop.
She's completely recovered?
Oh god.
Absurd! Torn to oblivion! Weak! Shine down! A fleeting shadow. Insolent! Illusion shattered! Now you shall perish! Illusions are but distractions! Shattered! Shine down! The divine light that all of Inazuma will fade silently into the clouds. There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time.
Did something.
Torn to oblivion! There is no escape!
We have this. Did it?
Only emptiness awaits.
Go
You
us.
finally defeated her?
I think so.
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
How the heck?
Surely the puppet isn't invincible.
In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living being's, including you and me.
Let's put that to the test, shall we?
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking. One that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change. and Inazuma can never move forward.
I like the glowing eyes. I think those are cool. I mean, I always think glowing eyes are cool, which explains a few things. But I think this is gonna be cool.
This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, I will defeat her.
I also think her hair is glowing brighter than it normally does, which is also cool. What will happen to Inazuma in the meantime?
500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle.
Yeah, but this isn't 500 years ago. This is today. The Inazuma of today still needs you. In some capacity. We proved that last time.
Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices. Tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place.
You were missing the point.
It is about time that I learn to trust them.
But can you bear to leave humanity to go alone? Everyone looks to the Shogun for hope.
I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear.
Yeah, but look how well that worked out for them last time. Don't do this. Your people need you. You cannot spend all of your time in here fighting her. No. This is no better than what you did before. You're still running from the problem.
I fight for
It's just
the
running in a
everlasting
different way
future
now.
of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity.
You're missing the point.
I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness.
No. This is dumb. This is not a good idea.
During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
Yeah, Miko's good at what she does, but what she does and leading a nation are two radically different things. Your people need you, not her, not your sister, you.
But this means that...
You are missing the point. Look at Lumine's face. Look at her face. She gets it. Lumine gets me.
Pass on my words.
Hey! I have never seen someone be so smart and completely miss the point at the same time. That seems to be a running theme with these Archons. I swear Venti's the most competent Archon we've come across. He's a drunkard who spends all his time drinking and singing songs in taverns. I have high hopes for the next one.
Out.
Idiot.
Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still...
It has no physical body anymore and it has to rely on the Shogun. But this cannot be the only way.
Right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times, and has a history of rushing into difficult situations.
Yes, Paimon.
What if she gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen, and then she might never leave again.
We're not about to leave her just yet. Our work here isn't done. No,
yeah,
our work is
we
not
should
done.
help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better.
And I have to step away again. I will be right
Is there
back.
any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the fight?
I am back. Okay. I think now is the time to go get the help of Pink Fox Lady. Because I think we're out of our frame of reference when it comes to this situation.
Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to A while she's in there. Oh,
Yeah.
but we also can't get in there anymore.
But we know someone who might be able
Okay,
to help.
well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't fail Paimon now. Okay, maybe if we both ran into it at the same time really, really hard.
We need to talk to Yaimika. Thank you, Lumine. I appreciate that while she is a silent protagonist 99% of the time, Lumine is not stupid. Yes.
Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her.
Yes.
Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm plane thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. All right, up the mountain we go.
There is, in fact, a thunderstorm outside as well. Okay. Yeah. Pink Fox Lady.
Another bad one? No, let me try again.
Pink Fox Lady. We need your help. Well, there's been one going on and on. Yeah. I have no idea if you just heard that, but there's been one going on for like the past hour and a half-ish. Actually, no, longer, because I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours, and it was like half an hour before that, so 2.5 hours. So, yeah. Welcome to Arizona's monsoon season. Anyway, Pink Fox Lady, you need help. Please, your friend is doing something stupid again.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you.
She's your best friend.
I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
Don't be mad at us, be mad at her, because she's the one who keeps doing stupid stuff.
But you're always smiling.
Yeah.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Come on, get to the point.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A. She...
And she already knows, doesn't she? Tell Yaimika about everything that has happened.
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now?
This tool was more serious than anything up until now. She rushed into it without thinking.
Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Don't toy with me, Fox Lady. We both know how this is gonna go.
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure.
Absolutely.
Aha, you're learning, little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do.
Wonderful.
All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way, but I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like?
I didn't notice any differences. I noticed a few differences. It looked a little bit different, though. It looked a little bleaker, somehow.
Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first, follow me to the entrance.
Oh good, you do have a plan. Yay, because we desperately need one. Actually, since we're right here, let me check something real quick. I don't think the answer will be yes, but I'm sure I think anyway. Yep, I didn't think so. Okay. Now let's go back down we go.
By the protection of the electro
Is the door open, or do I have to regather the thingy? Oh good, the door is just open. I'm trying to be very careful not to take fall damage because I'm still convinced there's going to be a boss fight. And if there is, I want us all to be full health.
Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts.
This is why we go to her.
In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
That's all we need.
It's abstract, but has a location. But you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there. What?
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, she is surrounded by chaos. Everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
Yeah, which is why you did what you did last time.
What? Alright, well, I might stay here then. You two can go in.
In your dreams. I'm on. You're not gonna abandon me, are you?
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
To be fair though, if this does turn out to be a big fight, Paimon, not that helpful. So, yeah.
Paimon it up to here with both of you! Oh, fine. Paimon's coming too.
Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. I say.
What is it?
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed.
I feel like she's not being 100% honest with us, but we have more important things to worry about right now.
By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside.
Okay.
Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Yes, ma'am.
Well then, the door's open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens.
Oh, no.
I'm placing my god in your capable hands.
I will try. I
For
will
my
try to not
sake,
fail.
and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
We will do everything in our power to bring her back safely.
Nico, you better know what you're doing.
I don't think she would risk Ai's safety unless she was fairly certain this would work. Because as many tricks as she's willing to play, I think the one line she's willing to draw is Ai's well-being, whether physically or mentally. So I think if she thought, if she believed this had a high chance of not working, she wouldn't do it. That's what I believe. We will not fail.
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
We will. And hopefully not be destroyed. Oh, please don't be too bad for us. I'm really glad I drink tea. We can do this. We have a good team. It's not perfect for dealing with an electro enemy, but I'm pretty confident in us. We have enough decent options if we need them.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
This also makes me very excited for the cutscenes in the next region. Those are going to be cool. I can already tell. I mean, they're already cool now.
Huh?
Surprise! We're back.
How can this be?
How do you think?
You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
I'm pretty sure I don't age, actually. Not sure about Paimon. But I don't age, I don't think. All these years, what?
This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel, the conclusion to that which began 500 years ago.
This is one of those different planes have different time situations, isn't it? Because we were gone for like 10 minutes.
Final duel? Huh. So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler.
Are you going to put an end to all this?
I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations.
What is that? What is that? What is that? That's new?
Enough to vaporize the ocean and turn great into nothing. And the wolves of the land.
What is that? What is this?
And crush waves.
I'm nuts enough for this. Just keep hitting her until she falls over, please. Please. No. Are we good? Are we good? What was that?
This is the end. You have won.
Oh,
I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future, and you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me, to encourage me. I noticed it also. Just now, in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding.
Beep boop does not compute.
This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe in her.
That's different.
When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again.
That's sweet.
It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. Makoto barely wielded a blade in her life, and yet her blade brings me closer to her.
Maybe there's a little fragment of her in there. In those final moments. Maybe she wanted to be able to protect you. And this was the form she chose to do it with.
You have my approval.
That's good.
Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth.
Yeah.
I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow. The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Is that the sound of a new weekly boss that I don't ever do? I'm bad at those. I'm really bad at the bosses in this game.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Oh, where are you going? I felt like as soon as this quest is done, I'm calling it for the night. This has gone on way longer than I thought it would.
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness.
It's the sister!
I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
My heart.
Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me. But... you never mentioned this to me. Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore.
That's an interesting sentiment.
In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion, and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime. But I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain.
Oh no.
Here, take it. Before my last shred of consciousness fades away.
Don't go.
But it is you who must take the most important step.
Don't go. Oh.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye,
So sad.
Makoto.
After leaving the realm of consciousness, return to the shrine.
So the
They have
A
been
of the
together.
present planted the sacred Sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
There's some wonderful things inside that place. Time is moving forward and backward at the same time.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. Huh, so that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems.
I'm wondering if we're going to come back to this concept at some point in the future to go experience the events of Kaguya firsthand. Because it sounds like they just introduced time travel into this world. And if that's true, and we have a lot of past events we need clarification on, oh boy. I mean, I don't know. I'll give it a 50-50 shot of happening. And who knows what's going to happen in the next region when that drops in a couple of days. But still, this is interesting. Interesting that they put this here, that they've put a fragment of a possibility of something that drastic in here.
And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
Or not.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything, it's that seed.
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I know what you mean. Perhaps a higher power was involved in all this. But whatever the explanation, her solution is what saved us all.
Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago by that disaster and the filth.
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura, but to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness, but unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
I wonder if she's feeling just a little bit smug about this right now. She's just like, I do it. I've known this for centuries. None of you believed me. You all thought it was crazy. Haha. Although, to be fair, I don't think anyone expected time-traveling seeds to be involved.
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred Sakura hadn't even been planted then.
Don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred Sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too.
Sure, Fox Lady.
It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Is that significant?
At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for.
I wonder what would happen if we tried that, focused on our wish to see our brother again or to change his path.
The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
Perhaps this is what the Shogun meant by an inevitability of fate.
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma?
Yeah, well maybe you should have thought of that before you went and did this.
But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. Have you managed to calm down? After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward.
Yay,
I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan.
That's because she sounds like she was the big sister in this scenario. That's, you know, big sister powers.
It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day.
Makoto was brilliant, but hey, you made a crucial contribution too.
I just planted a seed.
Your will and hers were both indispensable.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Final act might be a simple one, but getting there was the result of countless efforts coming together. Interesting line here. That's interesting. I wonder if this sentiment will prove to be similar to our own grand reunion with Aether when we finally get to the end of our Archon journey. In whatever form that may take. Just because the cause and effect ended up back to front doesn't mean that you should undervalue the part you played.
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Yeah, and I bet you if she had listened to you, we wouldn't have ended up in this mess.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of Shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done.
Yes, there is.
The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future.
Yes.
After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Yes,
Really?
please.
That's huge news!
Yes, please.
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key.
For the uninitiated, basically that decree was a lock down all the borders and make it near impossible to get in or out of this nation.
I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma.
Granted, we can teleport, so it wasn't a big deal to us personally, but for everybody else, it was highly inconvenient to do things like trade and communicate with, all the other nations about important stuff that's going down. I don't think she even knows that Morax is dead. Well, dead. Quotation marks. Not actually dead. He just faked it by having a dragon corpse fall out of the sky. But with those challenges will be born new opportunities.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Traveler! Remember that pit at the bottom of the chasm? You know, the one that the giant pillar smashed into. Paimon took a quick peek before we left last time. There was some kind of light coming from inside. Don't you think that's a little strange? Oh, so you've been wondering about that too, huh? Now that we have some time on our hands, let's go and take another look.
I would love to, Paimon, but we are out of time. So, we will pick this up another day. And we will figure out what that's all about. I'm so excited for it. I have no idea what's ahead of us, but I'm sure it's going to be cool. So, thank you all for being here. and we can chat and hang out and stuff. And I will see all of you wonderful folks next time, whenever that is. Bye.